Join the radio man Edmond Obilo on State Affairs for local and international politics, security, extensive economic analysis, interviews, and world power play.
Nigerians must choose the path they want to follow. Follow the same looters and sponsors of violence who control the political structures or encourage the formation of a new leadership team.
Be a global citizen and join the radio revolution on State Affairs. State Affairs with Edmond Obilo. Radio just got deeper.
Here we go!
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live. Stay tuned.
Good morning from the side of time. Good morning from the heart of the future. It is a time to be with you again, a time to reflect on our journeys, a time to think of the future, a time to reminisce on the present, a time to learn, a time to teach. Welcome to class. Welcome to the class of History, Politics, and Power. The program is State Affairs on Splash 105.5 FM, the Integrity Station. I am Edmond Obilo. We talked about love last week, and we made the point that people who feel loved, people who give love, tend to live longer and healthier lives. The act of giving and receiving enhances one's sense of purpose, promoting vitality. We also made the point in last week's class that love nurtures peace of mind, reduces anxiety, and fosters resilience. A loving heart reduces the emotional burden of anger, resentment, and fear, leading to mental clarity and emotional stability. Remember, a loving environment provides emotional security for both children and adults. It builds self-esteem, reduces feelings of isolation, and fosters personal growth. So as a family, note this: love creates an atmosphere of trust, respect, and open communication within the family. It nurtures deeper connections, allowing family members to support each other through challenges and celebrate together in times of joy. This is the age of love. It's about you. Welcome to the class of history, politics, and power. You remember this voice? Yes, you should remember this voice. It is an unmistakable voice. It is the voice of Irene Omotayo Adijoro.
Since 2018, that my land was first, taken from me.
Your land?
Yes.
Was taken from you?
The portion.
A portion
larger portion of it was taken by the then interim chairman of the Oluyole local government, Mr. James Adeleke. I went to him so many times, to his office, despite the fact that I have challenges on my two legs. At times, I will stay by the staircase and it will seem I will crawl. Even right from the gates, they know me. And after his tenure, when the executive chairman came in again, Mr. Ayodeji, election lawyer, I went about 3 times. So that one told his one of his councillor, Mr. Irene, that he should.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
So when I came, Grandma, what I saw was a channel at the back of your house for erosion management.
It was diverted
to your land?
To my land.
Was that channel there before you built your house?
No. I will show you some pictures there. The picture that I took during the foundation.
There was no channel then?
No. The river is at the back of my land. The river.
So?
You can see.
They directed the channel?
Yes.
To the back of your house?
To everything.
They took your backyard?
Yes.
But that's government at work. It's government that brought that channel.
Well, I will say they brought the government machinery, but the person they were doing it for is their friend.
So you are saying they should have taken the land of their friend, not your land?
No. They should have, dredged the river on the normal route. There is the normal route, and the route is still there.
So there's a normal route?
Yes.
And if they had done it on that normal route, what would have happened?
They should have taken just a little bit of my own, instead of clearing my own land.
So you are
and they left him. He that is on that edge, they left him. They diverted the river
to your land.
To my land. Everything has been, the last one they did was November last year. They brought the machine, the dredger, or what is it? And even they were telling the operator that still move it in, and spread it.
When I came and I saw
it is even worse than when you came.
So your house is directly on that channel now?
Yes, they scrape it to the rock.
Did they give you any notice to leave?
No.
Did they write you?
No.
Because from what I am seeing, it is dangerous you are living there.
No.
That channel can overflow and your house will be flooded.
You know what saved me? Number one, the land is a stony ground. There is a lot of rock on the land.
who can say if your love grows as your heart shows? Only time.
Grandma is no more. Grandma Irene Omotayo Adijoro has gone home.
Can say why your heart sighs as your love flies. Only time.
It's a legacy of love, compassion, and peace. Grandma is dead. Today, we celebrate the life of Mrs. Irene Omotayo Adijoro, a woman who embodied grace, resilience, and an unshakable spirit throughout her remarkable journey. Though she left this world on Thursday, September 19th, 2024, her departure is not a moment of sorrow, but one of reflection on a life well lived. Her story reminds us that when we live with love, peace, and compassion, that is not an end to be feared, but a peaceful transition into the hearts of those we leave behind. Mrs. Omotayo's life was a testament to perseverance. In the face of immense challenges, including the harsh reality of her home being overtaken by a dangerous water channel, she never succumbed to despair. Instead, her calm and unwavering faith in love and community shone through. Faced with the possibility of losing her home and safety, Mrs. Omotayo Adijoro became the center of a story that speaks volumes about the power of human connection. Grandma is no more.
Who can say where the road goes, where the day flows? Only time. And who can say if your love grows as your heart shows? Only time.
What followed was not just an act of charity, but a profound display of collective humanity. I thank you. The people, in partnership with the authorities of Oluyole local government area of Oyo State and the media, came together to provide her with more than just a new house. We wanted to calm her spirit. We worked to build for her a home, a symbol of hope, compassion, and unity. Though the construction of the home was incomplete at the time of her passing, what was completed was far more significant. I'm talking about the outpouring of love and the sense of shared purpose that had already filled the walls. Mrs. Omotayo's life teaches us that love is the foundation upon which all great things are built. It is not the material possessions or achievements that matter, but the love we give and receive. When we look back at her life, we see a woman who, despite the challenges she faced, lived with dignity. Her spirit drew us together in an extraordinary way, and in her time of need, love rose to meet her.
Who can say if your love grows as your heart shows only time? And who can say where the road goes, where the day flows only time?
Grandma's passing is a reminder that death is not a tragedy for those who have lived with love, peace, and compassion. Rather, death is a graceful conclusion to a life lived with purpose. As Grandma moves on from this world, she leaves behind not emptiness, but a legacy filled with meaning, a legacy that continues in the hearts and lives and lives that she touched. Her story inspires us to live with love, not fear. Her story calls us to embrace the truth that when we sow kindness, compassion, and unity in our lives, we create something that lasts far beyond our time on earth. We thank you for your love towards Grandma.
Who can say why your heart sighs as your love?
Is life not beautiful? Life is beautiful. Grandma, wow, what a time to go. Let her journey motivate us to keep giving, to show love in the face of hardship, and to build communities of care wherever we are. Death, as her life shows us, is not the end if we live fully in the service of others. Mrs. Irene Omotayo leaves behind a powerful lesson that love, peace, and compassion create legacies that outlive us all. She was 75. She will be buried on the 4th of October. Grandma is no more.
And who can say why your heart cries when your love has only time?
You have something to say about Grandma? About the project? About the love? Okay, you can call on WhatsApp 080 999 18449. 080 999 18449. WhatsApp calls only. In subsequent editions, when I return to the country, we will publish the account statement, your contribution. We got about 2.5 million. It was not enough to complete the structure. I'll give you details of what happened, why that structure was not completed on time. And then we'll know what to do with the structure. You know, there's a new local government chairman now. But that's not what we want to talk about today. I'll give you all the details. I will account to you the money you contributed and how every dime was spent. And then we'll take a decision. Remember, we started it together. We've not concluded. You know, Grandma's daughter left about 6 grandchildren with her. I'll tell you what happened to her. But today, it's just a tribute day to Grandma. So you can call on WhatsApp and join the discourse. 080 999 18449. Remember, it's a WhatsApp call. There might be delay, but don't listen to your radio. Just turn it off because the delay might confuse you. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
I greet you.
I'm Sunday Ademola.
Can you speak up, sir?
Yeah, when I heard that news of Grandma, it was so saddening.
I can hear you well. Hello. All right. Please let's speak up as we call. Let's speak up. Let me also check if it's from my end here. Okay. 080 999 18449. That is 080 999 18449. WhatsApp calls only. Grandma has gone home. Grandma is no more. Irene Omotayo will be buried on the 4th of October, 2024. You know, we started the construction of our house on the 1st of October last year. We thought we would have finished it by now. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Edmond.
Yes, good morning.
Yeah, I'm calling from Northern Ireland. My name is Irene. I want to appreciate you for the kind work you are doing, and especially about Grandma. That I followed keenly how you handled the issue with chairman and the former chairman, and all you did. May God bless you, sir. And to the family of Grandma, I'm saying, may they experience joy even after someone they love has left them, and may they find peace all around them. Keep up the good work. You are an inspiration to some of us. I'm a youth, and I get inspired by you. I follow you on all your social media and follow your program, Came on Radio. God bless you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for calling.
I'm a youth, and
Hello,
I
good
get
morning.
inspired by you. I follow you on all your social media.
Hello, good morning.
Program, Came on Radio. God bless you, sir.
Hello. So let me advise, because the last caller now, I have picked his or her call, but it's obviously the caller was still listening to radio. I think when you call a radio station, you should be looking at your phone. Once your phone begins to count, you can see it is reading. You know your call has been picked. Hello, good morning. I think when you call a Hello.
Good morning, Edmond.
Yes, good morning.
Yeah, my name is Chelsea Nalawode from Olodo area in Ibadan.
Go ahead, make your
We
point.
thank God for grandma's. We thank God for grandma's life, and to be sincere,
Can you please
the
turn down the
trauma,
volume?
the grandma.
Can you please turn down the volume of your radio?
My radio is not on.
All right, go on.
I want to thank you and thank God, and thank Almighty God for the life of grandma. The trauma went through. If not for the love you showed to that mama, she would have passed on long time before now. But let's thank God for her life, and the love that existed between you and her spirit will never die. I praise you. I followed the program. I followed everything. In fact, last Saturday, when your program was on, somebody passed through the information that grandma had passed out. Then we thank God. The rest of us will continue to pray for ourselves. God Almighty repose the soul of grandma. Thank you very much. God bless you for the good work we have been doing. It is well with you.
Thank
We
you.
expect you back in Nigeria soonest. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. The line is open. Okay? Remember, there's delay. This is internet transmission. So once you call, be looking at your phone, not the radio. Once it begins to count, you can see it is reading 0102. You know you are on, and you turn down your volume immediately, because what you will be saying will be delayed before it is heard. It's internet transmission. Good morning, sir. Hello.
Hello, Edmond.
Yes, good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. May God continue to bless you on the good work you are doing. This is the third time I'm hearing of people we are in contact with that have passed on. Reverend Koyo Ladili, Alaji Abdul Salam of Coca-Cola, and Grandma. May their soul rest in perfect peace. And may God continue to bless you for the good work you are doing in the society, bringing up people, building people, informing, educating, and helping. God will continue to bless you and your family. God bless you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate this call. Thank you. The line is open. 080 18449. Grandma Omotayo Adejoro is no more. Thank you for the love you showed her. Hello, Bright Grandma
Omotayo Adejoro. Good morning, Mr. Edmond.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Edmond.
I greet you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, sir. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Trust you are enjoying your holiday.
I'm working. I'm not a holiday.
Okay. My name is Bright Obuna, calling from Ibadan as usual. I want to condole with Grandma's family, the kids, the relatives, and to some of us, or all of us also that followed keenly the way you projected her situation at that time. I must commend you, the former local government chairman, to settle for the love you and kindness you guys showed to her. And I pray that Grandma's soul rest in perfect peace. I want to truly, truly appreciate you for the work you've been doing. Yours is like a class to learn, to equip people with the right skills also to lead, and plus other work also, which is also helping the needy. And I pray that God will continue to strengthen and also show you love as much as you have showed to our the grandma and to others in general. Thank you for your work, and thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, Bright. Thank you. Yes, Grandma Motayo is no more.
Good morning, the radio man.
Good morning.
Yeah, this is Amo Temitope. I really appreciate you for what you are doing, and we keep you and your family, keep the work going. I'm very sad about Ayama. May I also continue to rest in perfect peace, and the family he left behind, the Almighty God will be with them, guide them, protect them. And the project ahead, I think the Almighty God will give you the ability to complete the project. And the other people that supported you with the project, God will bless everyone. It's very sad to hear this. Even Mr. Abdul Salam, I didn't know he has passed on. I just noticed I didn't hear his voice on radio anymore. So may the Almighty God be with his family as well, and the soul will rest in peace. Thank you, the radio man.
Thank you. Thank you for calling. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello. Good morning, sir.
Can you hear me?
Actually, head of grandma's passing is so losing people is saddening, really. But eventually, grandma has gone to rest, and I would like to commiserate the family and loved ones. And I pray that God will be with everyone. And then regarding the project, we await whatever it is you have you want to tell us when you return. And we wish you safe trip back to Nigeria. Thank you so much, and good morning, sir.
Good morning. Thank you. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Yes, this is Ifeoluwa from Iwo Road. So, firstly, we just appreciate God and appreciate Him also in your life. You've been a very good person, and you've been a channel of blessing to Grandma. I hope she's looking down and she's smiling on us. And I pray that the project that we've begun, that God will help us to complete it. And I pray that God will continue to be with you. I just want you to know that you are doing the very best a man could have ever done to humanity. How you've helped Grandma, you've assisted Grandma, and all other people. And I pray that God will continue to be with us. Thank you very much, Edmond. You are a source of encouragement to we youths of Nigeria. You are really helping us. God be with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. The line is open. Good morning.
Good morning, Edmund.
Good morning.
My name is Musa Salami. I'm calling from Lagos.
Happy to hear your voice.
Thank you. I wish to first and foremost commend you for a wonderful job you did in Grandma's case. I remember I've had a lot of Hello.
Okay, I can hear you.
Hello.
Yes.
Okay, it is so heartrending that in this society where we have a plethora of billionaires, their degrees of their travel and their engagement with law agencies in Nigeria of stolen funds, stolen public funds here and there, millions, billions, some trillions, amounts that we hear and give that will make us restless and sleepless. Nobody could come up with such a trifle to build a befitting 3-bedroom apartment for grandma. It is so sad. I just reflected on everything and I come to the conclusion that we are largely.
Okay, he keeps breaking. He keeps breaking. He keeps breaking. That is Mr. Salami. He keeps breaking. You know, there were times I would look at the account. Don't worry, I'm going to talk about the contribution. You know, at some point I said I was not going to come on radio again to ask for contribution. Because we asked for over 6 months and we were only able to raise roughly 2.5 million. You know, so that got me thinking. And I said I wasn't going to come on radio again to ask for contribution. If for 6 months, so I began to analyze, to ask why, what must be behind it. I came up with different permutations.
If for 6 months, so I began
Hello,
to...
Mr. Tony Brown. Once I pick your call, turn down the volume. Thank you.
Yes, I turned it down already. Good morning, the radio man.
Good morning, Mr. Brown.
Thank you very much. Well done. Well done. What you're doing is interesting. We thank God for your life and all that you are putting into the society. What the society is so that naturally, by law of nature, what you put into society that affects positively the life of the people, God has a way of rewarding that person positively. And I think you get a reward. God will reward you. I listened to, though I wasn't around when that issue came up, I was listening, satellite listening when the Mama issue came up. But what I was worried was the local government that went about dredging a line and not considering that woman, that aged woman has property there. And they left her wondering. They left her panting until you came in to intercede. And that, then it gives question one will ask, what is the responsibility of government? What is the responsibility? Because if it is local government that you are channeling, you are dredging a channel, you are trying to, free the waterways. You are at the same time consider that somebody bought a property there, and that this property somebody pays for it. When that property was sold to that old madam, probably that channel was not there. That idea of expanding that channel was not there. Once you have noted that idea of you have to find a way to relocate that woman, build a house for a property for her, not until the radio man will come and start soliciting for money, over time, over months, to build a small. What is the responsibility of government? So I will also take the government of Oyo State into. They should have done better than they have done in that in the circumstances of this woman. But I pray this morning that may God rest her soul, console the family that she left behind to mourn her, and all those of us who are listening who knew her case. But that the government should have done better than they have done. I'm not happy about it. Even no matter what, the local government, how much did the local government, when we publish that fund, we will know how much the local government or even the state government brought about in that house. You know, the woman cannot live, she's not living to live in that house. So what is the job? But thank God, other people will benefit. But like I said, keep doing your good job. God has a way of rewarding you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Tony Brown. Thank you. Thank you. Hello. Hello, Mr. Pedro Olayemi.
Hello. Good morning, Edmond. How are you doing today?
I'm good.
Yeah. I want to say rest in peace, Grandma, and I want to appreciate your effort for everything you've done. And I want to appreciate the local government chairman too, Setu Popola, if I can remember very well. He tried his best too. I think everyone tried their best. But I'm just very, very much concerned about the grandchildren, Grandma should be the next line of action. And now my voice is shaking. Their grandma is no more. So I watched the Sholakwe interview yesterday. Maybe Edmond, I'm not too big to advise. I'm not big enough to advise you, but maybe we can talk to people like Sholakwe to get one of those children to our foundation. I just want support for them, and thank you for all you are doing. And thanks for the books as well. Thank you so much, Edmond. I don't have much to say.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. All right. Yeah.
All right. Let's take a break. Okay? The program is State Affairs on Splash 105.5 FM, the Integrity Station.
Who can say where the road goes, where the day flows? Only time. And who can say if your love grows as your heart shows? Only time. We
Okay, have you started playing your adverts?
Who can say why your heart sighs as your love flies? Only time. And who can say why your heart cries when your love?
In the global village of conflicting ideologies and complexities, understanding systems and schemes through awareness and social reconstruction becomes expedient.
They never told you how you offended them?
I'm not on trial, so I can't go before
Join the radio man Edmond Obilo on State Affairs for local and international politics, security, extensive economic analysis, interviews, and world power play.
Nigerians must choose the path they want to follow. Follow the same looters and sponsors of violence who control the political structures or encourage the formation of a new leadership team.
Be a global citizen and join the radio revolution on State Affairs. State Affairs with Edmond Obilo. Radio just got deeper.
since 2018 that my land was first, taken from me.
Your land?
Yes.
Was taken from you?
The portion. A larger portion of it was taken by the then interim chairman of the Oluyole local government, Mr. James Adeleke. I went to him so many times, to his office, despite the fact that I have challenges on my two legs. At times, I will stay by the staircase and it will seem I will crawl. Even right from the gates, they know me. And after his tenure, when the executive chairman came in again, Mr. Ayodiji, election lawyer, I went about 3 times. So that one told his one of his councillor, Mr. Irene, that he should go and see the land. And when he got there, he saw it, and he complained that they don't have machinery to do the work, that the portion they cut off, that they will send the sand back.
Okay, Grandma, when you say a portion of your land was taken from you,
yes,
taken to do what?
Given to a friend of his that built their own house at the edge, I would say at the mouth of the river, because it's a setback that the land grabber sold to them. And when there is flood from Oduono Kekere, their house is always flooded. I don't have any problem about it. But what happened recently, that was around November last year, that the now chairman of the local government, they brought the dredger again and they concentrated on the little bit of the land that remained. So for now, I cannot do anything in the house. I don't have any backyard that I will go, and I have not even finished the supposed flat that I'm living in.
What do you want, Grandma?
They should take the river to the normal route, and I know that my Redeemer liveth. Probably the governor will hear about it, and I will tell you, I went to Minister of Environment Secretariat. From there, I was told to go to Surveyor General's office. I went to Surveyor General's office. Surveyor General said, it's not a government land, that I should go to Ministry of Justice Mediation Center. I went there. They called James Adeleke, and he came because a letter was sent through me to him. He said, so they were expecting him to come, that okay, where is the own papers? Let's go to the land.
The program is State Affairs on Splash 105.5 FM, the Integrity Station. Let me look at the subject with you. And I want us to discuss this subject with open heart. It is not about petroleum pricing. I'll come to that. Because Dangote granted an interview to Bloomberg. And I liked the interview because he was quite open in that interview. And during the week, the president of the Trade Union Congress, Festus Osifo, also called a press conference. The conference was eye-opening and detailed. If you listened to Dangote and Osifo, you have a better understanding of where we are headed with regard to petroleum pricing in Nigeria. The price might rise because Dangote in that interview called for the removal of subsidy. So when Tinubu said subsidy is gone, it isn't gone. There have been subsidy. So some would ask, how come they removed subsidy and the price of petroleum products continued to rise? The answer is simple. That rise in price came due to the devaluation of the naira. We'll get to that point. You know, last week I spoke about love. So I have been trying to explore this subject further, deeper. Remember, on this program, Radio Gets Deeper. So what did I do? See, what I want to discuss here, are you a Muslim? Please listen attentively. Are you a Christian? Listen attentively. Because I want to draw some examples from the Bible to ask political questions. And that is what this class is all about. Ask those deeper questions. I am not going to answer the questions. You will answer the questions if you can. So I have titled this part of the program, Is there a connection between ancient biblical conflict and modern day wars? So let me remind you of modern day wars. You have the Russian-Ukrainian war. It is ongoing. But the one that is topping the news at the moment is the Israeli-Hamas war. Israel has destroyed Gaza. And the war is spreading because Israel is bombing Hezbollah in Lebanon. And Iran is threatening to join the war if Israel did not stop. Netanyahu addressed the United Nations General Assembly yesterday. What did he say? I am a reader. I am that reader who explores various subjects like politics, history, entertainment, and religion. In fact, these days, I am spending more of my research time on religion. Because my research is telling me that Africans are very religious. And I'm also seeing a lot of ungodliness. So I'm trying to connect it in my research to say, how come people are so religious and they are so poor? How come people so call on God and their land reeks of violence? So there's something not connecting. Because I understand that righteousness exalts a nation. If a people are righteous, the nation will be exalted. But as I see more churches, as I see more mosques, I see that the people are growing poorer. So it got me wondering. So I've been reading a lot on religion, even to the extent of going through esoteric books. I will not be consumed by it. I'm totally in control of my mind. But I want to know why things are the way they are. So this morning, I turned to the Bible. I don't mean this morning. The morning I'm talking about, when I turned to the Bible. So I wanted to study Jesus Christ's teachings on love. While flipping through the pages of the Bible, I came across the book of Amos and I paused. Are you with me? So I came across the book of Amos and I paused. I realized I hadn't paid much attention to this part of the Bible before. Yes, I know there's a book of Amos, the book of Joel. I've read some chapters, but I hadn't paid critical attention to the book of Amos. So I decided to begin from chapter 1 of the book of Amos. Look at what I saw. That is Amos chapter 1, verse 6 to 8. I'm quoting from the New International Version of the Bible. It reads, "For 3 sins of Gaza, even for 4, I will not relent, because Gaza took captive whole communities and sold them to Edom. I will send fire on the walls of Gaza that will consume her fortresses. I will destroy the king of Ashdod and the one who holds the scepter in Ashkelon. I will turn my hand against Ekron till the last of the Philistines are dead, says the sovereign Lord." I just read from Amos chapter 1, verse 6 to 8. Did you hear that? You can turn to your Bible. You can turn to your Bible. "For 3 sins of Gaza, even for 4, I will not relent, because she took captive whole communities and sold them to Edom. I will send fire on the walls of Gaza that will consume her fortresses." You see, I closed the Bible after reading those verses. The verses I have cited, remember in this analysis, I'm not speaking as a Christian or a Muslim. I am speaking as a free thinker. As I'm talking to you, I have Islamic books on my table right now. I'm reading Islam. I'm reading Islam. And I read Islamic works consistently. I am in search of why things are the way they are. It's not just about policy matters. If a people remain poor and are bogged down by violence and are consistently punished by wicked leaders, there must be something wrong with those people's mind that attracts those evils. That is the level of my inquiry. Why is it that Africans are always attracting violence, poor leadership? It must have to do with the thinking, the mindset of the African. And religion is a critical tool in that mindset. So I'm taking it seriously. Let's come back to the chapter of the Bible that I just quoted. So let me raise some fundamental questions from that chapter that you will help me answer. So those verses I have cited speak of judgment against Gaza for its sins, drawing attention to divine justice, warfare, and destruction in the ancient world. This sparks the following questions that demand deeper exploration, not only for individual reflection, but for politicians, religious leaders, and scholars to address in the modern context. So, question 1. Does this suggest that the Bible at times justifies war or divine retribution? Have you taken down that question? Does the verses I just read suggest that the Bible at times justifies war or divine retribution? Question 2. Listen attentively, please, and you can take down the questions. Remember, this is a class. Let's take radio deeper. Let's use this platform to solve societal problems. So every Saturday, prepare your mind for deeper reflections. We are going somewhere. It's about redemption, redeeming a people, a land. It is critical. Question 2. How do we reconcile those verses with the New Testament teachings on love, peace, and forgiveness, especially those from Jesus Christ? Did you get that? How do we reconcile those verses with the New Testament teachings on love, peace, and forgiveness, especially those from Jesus Christ? What role does divine justice play in human conflict? What role does divine justice play in human conflict? The passage in Amos speaks to a divine sense of justice being carried out against Gaza. How should modern Christians and Muslims interpret this idea of divine justice? Because there is a war in Gaza as we speak, and Israel has destroyed Gaza. Israel is presently bombing southern Lebanon, the base of Hezbollah. And the Bible is saying that Gaza will be destroyed. You see, when I return, I want to sit down with some Islamic scholars and some Christian scholars. Let's talk. One of the problems of the Nigerian state is how religion has bogged the mind. The problem is not religion. The problem is the adherent of the different faiths. Even politicians use the platform for deception. And they are endorsed by the leadership of the church and the mosque. I have not said they've committed any wrong. I am raising inquiries on the use of those platforms for poor governance, for corruption. But that is not to say that those who believe in divine healing should not be taken seriously. Hey, are you in this class of politics and power? I'm delving into religion, peace, and conflict. I have another question for you. If I'm too fast with the questions, please call my attention. Are you with your pen? The last question, I said the passage in Amos speaks to a divine sense of justice being carried out against Gaza. How should modern Christians and Muslims interpret this idea of divine justice in the 21st century? Is it a warning for us to uphold righteousness, or does it indicate that God intervenes directly in human conflicts? Is it a warning for us to uphold righteousness, or does it indicate that God intervenes directly in human conflicts? Is it possible that such divine judgment is still being enacted in today's world? That is another way of asking the question. Is there a connection between ancient biblical conflict and modern day wars? You want to do a PhD on this subject? Please go ahead. That is what PhDs should be. They should solve societal problems. And we have so many PhDs on the shelf. Are those PhD solving societal problems? Perhaps they have made their recommendations. But the political leadership don't understand the essence of knowledge, so they don't even want to know how many PhDs are being awarded per year and what they have studied. Because if they took PhDs importantly, they will be giving grants to universities. We want somebody to study this area. We want to know why this is like this. And at the end of the day, we'll begin to implement the research, the findings of the research. That is what you call a knowledge economy. That is the essence of research. So we are throwing up some research questions for you to answer. The mention of Gaza in the book of Amos immediately brings to mind the ongoing Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Can we draw any parallels between the ancient conflict described in the book of Amos and today's geopolitical struggles in the Middle East? Is there a religious dimension to the Israeli-Palestinian war that echoes back to the time of Amos? And if so, how should modern believers engage with this reality? I've asked more than 10 questions already. I'm not even done. But I will ask more. But let me open the line so that we can begin to answer. And remember, as you answer, hold your emotions, control your emotions. Hold it in check. So the line is open. 080 18449. I'm not discussing grammar now. Okay? Yeah. It is not grammar's time. It is this time. Question time. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Edmond Obilo, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Yeah, my name is Obimbe. It's a privilege to reach you this morning, though I've had a private chat with you before. You see, the questions you asked this morning are salient questions, which I believe our extreme of belief, as you have said, the religion is not the problem, but the belief will actually make you stop your discussion on this educative program when it comes to religion. What am I saying? I'm a PhD holder in health sciences where I trained. Before I answer your questions, let me say this. Religion gets so far in our mind that a professor in medicine, I was joking with him sometime after my training, and I said, after this last child, Oga, I will have a vasectomy. So I will not have children again. He's a Muslim. He screamed and yelled. And from the first time from his mouth, I heard that Muslim or Islam adherents do not believe in child control. What am I saying? If a professor in medicine do not believe in birth control just because he's a Muslim. So you see, despite education, I mean Western education, religion can go so far in our mind and then alter even our sense of judgment. To your questions, I dare tell you most of these questions you asked have been answered by researchers. I don't mean this part of the world. At a point, I stopped going to conventional churches. I would listen, I would watch Investigation Discovery on Sunday morning. They do a lot of church program, a lot of Bible researches from the seminaries. These your questions have been answered. And for sake of time, I will paraphrase a few. How do you interpret this divine justice? I'll tell you the answer of what you read from Amos by a Christian will be different from the way a Muslim adherent will answer you. How will a Christian adherent answer you? A typical Christian Old Testament and tell you, see, if you adopt Jesus Christ and you believe in Jesus, all things have passed away, and the love Jesus preached will make all the sins of old to go. That is, if the people of Gaza can accept Christ and become Christian, they will be forgiven of that. There are sanctions in the Bible. That is what I believe a typical Christian will answer you. A typical Muslim have never read the Quran. A typical Muslim will have another answer. That means that the response to your question is dependent and contingent upon the belief, which most of us do not choose. You are maybe a Christian, I may be a Christian because we are born into Christian homes. The others could choose because they are born in a Muslim home, not because they attained an education or because of your love for physics, chemistry, biology, you went into engineering or medicine. Ahead of a law because you love literature. I think you get what I'm saying. I'll paraphrase quickly because of time. Does God intervene in divine justice? Even as you said, if you read that Bible well, just we can't question God. You will ask why sanction this person for this little thing. Look at recently I was reading about the hack of Obededom. Somebody was punished and killed for taking the ark of Obededom into the ark of God into his house. Obededom was rewarded for keeping it in his house, while David was trying to build a house for the ark. You cannot question God. God punished somebody for keeping the ark in his house. Obededom kept the same ark in his house and was rewarded, while David was trying to build a house for the same ark. I paraphrase another question. Connection between nations, conflict, and recent wars. You see, the Bible is a old document. Quran is a old document. So I believe if these things were documented thousands of years ago and we are seeing it, there is no other fact we need to have precise connection. Yes, there is connection. Yes, there is history to these things. And it will continue. It will simply continue because look at it in the old past. Uh, Two-state solution was provided to the war. Israel said no. Israel said no have been issue, I think. By the time this thing will come back, Palestinians are reluctant. So would there be a permanent solution? Only, let's say, for example, in our country, if we extrapolate this to our country and back to the class of politics, which this class is basically about, our belief, I don't know the solution really. That is why some people, some extremists, will say, let us ban all these religions for now. Because university or Western education, once that religion is co-opted, there are like two parallel lines. If a professor in medicine who say, Obembe, how can you think that you want to do birth control? It's a statement I will never forget.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate your rich contribution. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Edmond.
Thank you for calling. Thank you. That was sweet. Sweet. I'm learning. Teach me. I'm learning. Hello. Are you with me? Good morning.
So, very simple. Me, I would just say, so we Africans here, we see that the religion has been the basis, has been the most basis of everything we do. So, how do I mean? Nothing. There is nothing you want to do as a Nigerian. The first thing that will come to your mind is what did your God think about it?
Are you there?
So, okay, sorry, I don't know. I'm still. So, I'm saying that we are too biased when it comes to religion. Although religion is a basis, see what is happening in Nigeria these days is that most of the things that are happening is based on religion, like causes and what's it called? All these things they are affecting us. So whatever is written down, especially by the Most High or by any higher power, I think it have effects on our mind. And when our mind is affected, everything is affected. So we have to place our activities, we have to place it on general app, not on really on that religion. Although it speaks a lot on it, but you know when the Bible says anyone that steals will be killed, it is not that being killed that is the matter there. Because if they say you'll be killed, if the Bible says you'll be killed, it's not that you'll be shot dead, but you are dead spiritually in connecting to your maker. So that's what I think about it. So we should try to separate religion and all these things that is happening in the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Can you separate religion from what is going on? There is a book I would recommend to you. It is a book written by Samuel Huntington. You know, if you read that book, you know, when I talk about that, one of my research is telling me that Africa remains poor due to also mental poverty. Mental poverty. Yes, mental poverty is a big problem. A lot of persons are reading. We've gone to school, we have degrees, but we are still suffering from mental poverty because our knowledge system is not solving the problems. Hello, Mr. Tony Brown. Hello. Mr. Tony Brown, okay. Let's let that go. Just keep trying. I want to hear from you. Do I be going on a break soon? Okay. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Edmond.
I greet you.
Thank you very much. My name is Kyle. I'm calling from United.
The ball is in your court.
Today's topic is highly, very, very important. I'll say this, Edmond. Go and read some of the outcomes of the confab that was organized by former President Goodluck Jonathan about our constitution, especially the things that was stated out that was supposed to be removed from our constitution. You know, by constitution, Nigeria is an Islamic state. The word Sharia appeared in our constitution several times. You know, and the thing is, when they come to round table and people started discussing, can we remove this, can we remove that? So people are ready to die to make sure that it continues to be like that. What am I trying to say? Either you are a Christian or you are a Muslim. For me, my religion is love. I don't believe in evangelism. Don't come to my house to preach to me. If you come to my house, it's a trespass. I'll get you arrested. I will get you for. Let your life, the life you live, let it preach to me. Let it evangelize to me. Either you are a Christian or a Muslim. Let your neighbor will tell if you are a good person. Your neighbor will tell if I want to follow you to the mosque or I want to follow you to the church. The community where you live in will be able to say that man is a good Christian, is a good Muslim, you want to go to his mosque. Let your life evangelize. You don't have to go to people's house, start knocking. Whereas in your community, you don't live by example.
That line keeps breaking. It keeps breaking. Okay, I'll take this call. This is the last call before I go on a break. Hello, good morning.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I was saying that let your life do the evangelism. Religion is a thing of the mind. Leadership, by example, is a good religious act. Do you know how many people that have been killed in Nigeria due to blasphemy? You know, as Nigerians, we behave like assistant God, like God's deputy, or God's personal assistant. In Saudi Arabia, show me where they have killed people for blasphemy. Show me. Do you know in Saudi Arabia now, they have officially opened store that sells alcohol? Did you know? But if you go to some part of Nigeria, they will tell you, if they see you eating outside during Ramadan, if they see you drinking alcohol, those who wants the religion, you can never hear them kill anybody for blasphemy. They rather come to you, teach you, plead with you, show you good leadership, why you should not do this. They want to, it's like campaigning as politicians. They want to bring you to their side, not by force. So for me, my religion is love. I don't believe in doing evangelism as a Christian or as a Muslim. Don't come to my house and preach to me.
All right.
Let your life show me that truly you are a true follower of Islam or a true Christian. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for calling the radio station. Okay, when I come back, I'll open the lines. But again, I also want you to tackle the questions. I've asked some questions so that we don't just take it to the broad concept of religion, so that we don't begin to bring in issues that are outside the questions. That's why I've tried to put those questions in context. Religion is such a broad subject. I want an intellectual discourse. An intellectual discourse does not mean you should have a PhD. It's deep reasoning. And humans are capable of deep reasoning. That is why you see people have local intelligence. Okay, I will take Toyin Brown. An intellectual discourse does not mean you should have a PhD. Hello, Mr. Brown. It's deep reasoning. And humans are capable of deep Mr. Brown, you don't. Now it's about 13 minutes. Mr. Brown, you're not saying anything. But I'm hearing myself. All right. Mr. Brown, I picked your call. For 15 seconds, you didn't say anything. You were listening to me on radio. Mr. Brown, I have told you, watch your phone. Once it begins to count, you are on, not the radio, because there is delay. Mr. Brown, why? I wanted to hear your voice. All right, I'm going for this break. It is State Affairs on Splash 105.5 FM. The Integrity Station. The program is coming to you from the deepest side of thinking. It is radio, it is history, it is politics, it is power. Stay tuned.
Edmond Obilo is live.
We need to encourage people to be built on that model and then move us forward, because you need thinkers. It's the thinkers of our time that would shape the future for us. The thinkers in science, the thinkers in industry, the thinkers in finance, the thinkers, the visionaries, who then stay the course to see. It's not like you will make mistakes, you will make mistakes, but that visioning is important. The direction, the set direction, where it goes, and then staying the course, I think is important.
Here we go!
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live. Stay tuned.
So the government wants to get rid of subsidies. Will your refinery help with that?
Well, the government, subsidy is a very sensitive issue. If, I believe the problem is not only the subsidy, it is problem that, once you are subsidizing something, then people will be blotting the numbers, and government will end up paying what they are not supposed to be paying. But this, our refinery, will bring quite a lot of issues out there. It will show the real consumption of Nigeria. Because nobody can tell you. Some people say 60 million liters of gasoline per day. Some say no, it's less. But right now, if you look at it, by us producing, everything can be counted.
Right.
So everything can be accounted for. Most of the trucks or ships that will come and load from us, we are going to actually, put a tracker on them to be sure they are going to take the oil within Nigeria, and that I think can help the government to save quite a lot of money.
So do you think it's the right time to get rid of the subsidies?
I think it is, because all countries have actually gotten rid of subsidies. Let me give you an example. Saudi Arabia used to give what Saudis, the citizens, believe that, look, oil is our own God-given gift, so the government shouldn't charge us for it. So government were selling it at a very low price. But today, as we speak, gasoline is about 40% cheaper in Nigeria than in Saudi Arabia, which I think it doesn't make sense. That is one. Number two, our price of gasoline is about 60% of the price of our neighboring countries, and we have very porous borders. So it is not sustainable. The amount of subsidies that were paid, government cannot afford those subsidies.
So do you need the government to take away the subsidies for your refinery to be viable?
Well, you see, we have a choice of either when we produce, we export, and when we produce, we sell locally. But we're a private company. And yes, it's true, we have to make a profit. We build something worth $20 billion, so definitely we have to make money. The removal of subsidy is totally dependent on the government, not on us. We cannot change, price. But I think, the government will have to, give up something for something, So I think at the end of the day, the subsidy will have to go. But what we have done now, with the government, which I think I must really thank the President of Nigeria, President Bola Tinubu, very creative idea that, okay, fine, what, we will sell you the crude in Naira, you also sell in Naira. So now we are working out for the exchange rate. It's going to be priced, normal pricing, if crude is at $80, Brent, we will pay that price. We'll use an agreed exchange rate, and then we will also sell in the domestic market. What that will do is that it's going to remove 40% pressure on the Naira. So, because you see, the petroleum products consume about 40% of our foreign exchange. So, and then, it's like you have 40% of demand being taken out. So that can actually stabilize the Naira. That's one. Number two, the government will now know, even if they are going to subsidize, they will know what is the real consumption. Because right now, nobody can tell you what you are consuming. It's all guesswork. So That can help in terms of stabilizing the market. That can also help in terms of removing queues, because we have a lot of queues, and these queues are not there today. They've been on and off since 1972, for the last 52 years.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live. Stay tuned.
Look, there was confusion. The NNPC was meant to take 20% of the refinery. It's now 7%.
Yes.
What happened?
What happened, I think we agree with them. We gave them a good deal. Where we said, okay, fine. We structured an agreement. The first agreement was that they're going to pay us $1 billion. The deal was about $2.79 billion. And then the balance of the money, $1 billion, which they paid us about a year and a half ago. And then the balance of the money was split into two. One portion is that every crude they supply to us 300,000 barrels. Then we'll deduct $2.
Yeah.
And then up to the time they finish paying that, 1/3. The other 1/3 will come out of their own forfeit. So what the NNPC opted out that no. It's a little bit confused. I mean, it's a bit of a confusion. They want this agreement to be changed, where they want to pay cash. They don't want it that way. So we say, okay, fine. We sign another agreement. Canceling the other one. The new agreement that we signed was for them to pay us after.
If you were listening online, if you were listening on State Affairs app, if you were listening on Facebook and X, you discover I just played Dangote's interview on Bloomberg. And if you were listening on Splash, you wouldn't have heard that because we were playing advert at that time. But I'm going to bring it back so that we understand the pricing war. Because one of the biggest problems in Nigeria today is the pricing of petrol, diesel. Why is it so? So I'm going to play you Dangote. I'm going to play you excerpt of his interview on Bloomberg. I'm also going to play you Festus Osifo's press conference explaining this. Okay? But now we are still talking about religion. So I would like you to hit the nail on the head. I still have other questions to ask. Let me ask one or two before I open the lines. Now, I titled these Political Questions for Government and Politicians. Remember, this discourse stems from a chapter in the Bible. That is Amos chapter 1, verse 6 to 8. Let me read it again. It said, "For 3 sins of Gaza, even for 4, I will not relent, because she took captive whole communities and sold them to Edom. I will send fire on the walls of Gaza that will consume her fortresses. I will destroy the king of Ashdod and the one who holds the scepter in Axlan. I will turn my hand against Ekron till the last of the Philistines are dead, says the sovereign Lord." Amos 1 verse 6 to 8. I just read from the New International Version. So from this chapter, I am raising questions. I'm raising questions for everyone, Muslim Christians, to help me find answers to. I've already raised more than 10 questions. You can just pick one. You don't have to answer all the questions. Just pick one. Now, I have some political questions to ask. Are politicians aware of the historical and religious context of modern conflicts? I don't know how many of us have read about the first Iron Lady, not Margaret Thatcher, the Iron Lady that became the Prime Minister of Israel. Okay, let me leave her subject for now, because I have her biography, and I was reading it, the context. And you know, I wrote my thesis when I was studying politics and international relations. My thesis was on Israel, the Middle East, the Arab world. And it's one of the works I am presently editing to come out as a book. What I think, you will see what I think there. How often do political leaders, when navigating complex international conflicts like the Israeli-Palestinian war, consider the deep historical and religious context that might have underlined these struggles? Why did the Jews decide to return to Palestine? You know, they were scattered around the world. If you read my thesis was about 128 pages. I was supervised by the renowned professor of international affairs, Alaba Ogunsowo. You know, I traced the history. Why did they decide to return to Palestine? Why? How did they come to command that zone? What did knowledge do to the Jews? Remember, the Jews were massacred during the Second World War, the Holocaust. More than 6 million Jews were killed. Many of them were killed in Russia. They were everywhere. The Jews are everywhere. Even in the United States, they are core to United States politics. So in raising this question, don't just look at it from the religious point of view. But you can. It's your choice. But your answer should not provoke certain sentiments. That is why I'm guided in trying to ask these questions. Because religion can be funny. Yes. Should religious scriptures like the Bible or Quran inform political decisions? It is informing political decisions in Iran. Iran is a theocratic state based on the doctrine of Islam, Saudi Arabia. But they are modifying as they go. Iran is a Shia-dominated country, while Saudi Arabia is a Sunni-dominated country. Okay, the lines are open. Okay, the line is open. It is one line. 08039 18449. WhatsApp. Call on WhatsApp. 08039 18449. You can call. Look at this question. Hello, good morning. Please, you see, this is an internet transmission from where I am. I'm not in the studio in Ibadan. I am broadcasting from outside the country. So what it simply means is that if you call me and you are using the radio to monitor, to know when to speak, you will be wrong. Because there is delay. So once you call, look at your phone. Once it begins to read, that means you are connected. just turn off the radio. Because what is happening is that when I pick your call, I'm still hearing myself. You can see that delay. Okay? Yes, Deji Yesufu. Thank God you called. Deji.
Hello, Edmond.
I'm happy you called.
Yes, thank you very much for your topic this morning. I'm just going to even try to respond to your question with something I read in the Bible this morning. In the Bible, I was reading the book of Isaiah, and God was expressing the fact that He's going to bring judgment on some evils that I think either Israel or his neighbors or their neighbors have committed. Then something struck me. I realized that in the whole of the Old Testament, God often expressed his anger, his judgment on nations, either directly or he sends Israel to do those judgments. In fact, most of the time he will say, I will do this, and then he will do it. But in the New Testament, even as you have expressed on your radio, Jesus never went into any battle. He never sanctioned any fighting. He never led any army. But Jesus spoke about a judgment of all humanity. So you probably want to look at it this way. In the Old Testament, God will judge sin directly. In the New Testament, God will give sin time, but will judge it ultimately. What is happening in Israel between the Palestine and the Israelites is a very deep thing. We can't explore everything on radio right now. And in fact, I'll be very happy whenever you return to Nigeria to come and discuss with you free of charge. But it's very extensive, and the subject of love is also something that is important because Jesus Christ exemplified love, and he wanted humanity to get love. And the antithesis to love is actually money. Is money. And you realize that the reason why many religious institutions don't have the testimony that they are supposed to have is because they are actually caved in and they are slaves to money. So that's it. That's how much I want to say this morning.
Thank you, DG. Thank you for calling.
Yeah,
that is
thank
DG.
you for picking my call.
That is DG Yesufu.
Yes.
Hello, good morning. Hello.
Oh, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
This is Michael calling from Germany. I really want to commend your work as a broadcaster, and you inspire some of us that left Nigeria some time ago. So I'd like to briefly also comment on the on your point this morning, especially with regards, I am a Christian, and when you read to 7, I can almost say probably it's the first time I am seeing this, and it begs the question that you're asking. Is religion the problem that we have currently when it comes to man waging war against each other? And I think the answer is not far-fetched. It's simple. It's yes. The war in the Middle East always has a religious undertone. Even the wars in Europe historically has always have or had religious undertone. And when you consider all these things historically, you see that we are still tied. Humanity is still tied to the dictates of, century-old religion. While Christianity in its purest form is supposed to be practiced the way Christ envisaged, but many Christians look towards the Old Testament to draw what Christianity is all about. But sincerely, Christianity is about how Christ asked us to practice it. And if we practice Christianity the way it is said to be practiced by Christ, then all these wars will not be an issue. And yeah, that is how I see it. I believe if we Nigerians especially, irrespective of your religion, whether you're a Christian, you're a Muslim, or you're traditional worshiper, when you see things not from the prism of religion, then it becomes easier to understand issues based on logic and facts rather than religious emotions or sentiments. The same goes for our tribal sentiments. If we can, remove ourselves from all these primordial, if that's the right word, sentiments, then some of the problems in Nigeria, the problem of corruption, the problem of underdevelopment, will be easier to tackle. We can begin to ask pertinent questions like, how do we solve this problem? Is it the most competent person should do the work, or is it someone that is related to me, either by ethnicity or by religion? And lastly, if I could also comment quickly on the issue of Dangote's refinery.
I'm not there yet. I'm coming there.
Yes, Dangote has.
You see, I am not there yet, okay? I'm going to come to the Dangote subject. I'm going to spend the last hour of the discourse on the pricing of petroleum product. So you'll call at that time, okay? So that we don't derail the subject. Now, the first book I'm recommending this morning is this one entitled The Clash of Civilizations. The Clash of Civilizations and the Remaking of World Order. There's something going on in the West African sub-region. Because the question of poverty, we are so cornered by those discourse that sometimes we are not peeping outside Nigeria's border. Recently there was what the government of Benin called an attempted coup in Benin Republic. Benin Republic, there was an attempted coup, according to the government of Benin Republic. If you check my social media pages, you'll see that story, an attempted coup in Benin Republic. Why? What is going on? Let me tell you some story. In a dramatic turn of events in Benin, authorities have arrested 3 prominent figures, including the commander of the Presidential Guard, over allegations of plotting a coup. The suspects, according to prosecutors, planned to overthrow the government on Friday, September 27th. Among those detained is former sports minister Oswald Humke and businessman Olivia Boko, both known for their close ties to President Patrice Talon. Special Prosecutor Elon Mario Matono revealed that the Republican Guard commander, Jimon Diodon, who is responsible for the president's security, was allegedly approached by Humke and Boko to carry out the coup. Humke was apprehended in early hours of Tuesday while reportedly handing over 6 bags of cash amounting to 1.5 billion CFA francs, roughly $2.5 million, to the commander. Boko, who has expressed interest in running for president in 2026, was arrested separately in Cotonou, the country's economic capital. Benin shares border with Nigeria. That country has been celebrated as a model for multi-party democracy in West Africa. But in recent time, Benin has seen a rise in authoritarian tendencies under President Talon, who has been in power since 2016. Take note of this word, authoritarian tendencies. Around the world, we are gradually moving to the politics of strong men. Authoritarianism is emerging. Some have already accused Tinubu of playing on that platform of authoritarianism. If you take a critical look at the Edo election, it was an election for strong men. The man with the muzzle. It is not really about the people with the number. So why is authoritarian tendency rising in West Africa? Let's look more at the Benin news. Now, what happened in Benin also raises some fundamental point. Mind you, Benin's security forces have been on high alert due to increased jihadist violence spilling over from neighboring countries in the Sahel region, including Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, all of which have recently experienced military takeovers. We have military government in 5 West African states as I speak. There is military government in Guinea, there is military government in Gabon, there is military government in Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso. And if you asked why the guys in Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger took over, they said that the democratic government became incapable of handling jihadist insurgencies. That means jihadists are taking over territories in West Africa, what you call the Sahel region. You know, we are so used to the story that we have backed out. Boko Haram has not been defeated. In fact, Boko Haram has now been accepted. The people now live with them. Bandit activities are rising. They are endangering communities in Nigeria. Now, they have moved into Benin. They have moved into Benin. And we might likely see a rising insurgency in Nigeria if the military does not rise to the task. So what this does is that as there's rising insurgencies, democratic leadership become more hardened, authoritarian, to stamp their authority. That is one way to look at it. There are other ways. Some persons naturally have authoritarian tendencies. What are the lessons to learn? The plot in Benin raises significant concerns about the potential spillover of the coup contagion, with military rule now becoming a disturbing trend in West Africa. That is why Tinubu is also sitting on the edge. You can see he has charged certain persons with treason for calling for the dethronement of the government. Dethronement in the sense that government has become like kingship. It is a president saying, no, I need to protect my seat. That is one story from Benin. Let me take this call. All right. You can call. The program is State Affairs. Let me also announce that you can now watch the Brigadier's daughter's interview on my YouTube channel. We've uploaded it, the Brigadier's daughter. Remember her? Sholakbe Ademulegun. Remember her story? You can now watch her story on my YouTube channel. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and watch the story. So I'm recommending this book to you, The Clash of Civilization by Samuel Huntington. The Clash of Civilizations and the Remaking of World Order. In 1993, Foreign Affairs Journal published an article entitled The Clash of Civilizations, written by Harvard professor Samuel Huntington. According to the journal's editors, that article went on to generate more discussion than anything they had published since the Second World War. In the article, Huntington posed the question whether conflicts between civilizations would dominate the future of world politics. In the book, he gives the answer, showing not only how clashes between civilizations are the greatest threat to world peace, but also how an international order based on civilizations is the best safeguard against war. Since September 11, his thesis has seemed even prescient and acute. The Clash of Civilizations and the Remaking of the World Order is now recognized as a classic study of international relations in an increasingly uncertain world. You will find the book on udarabooks.com. On udarabooks.com. You can also get it by sending me a message on my WhatsApp number. You can order the book on udarabooks.com. You can also order it through my WhatsApp number. That is 080-999-18449. If you read the book, you will see the power of knowledge that this professor predicted what was going to happen, especially between civilizations, Islamic civilizations and Christian civilizations. And that is what we are seeing. But men of conscience would rise to check what is going on. Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, thank you, Edmund. I have sent some things to your WhatsApp, but let me quickly explain now that I have this opportunity. The first problem with religion is that religion is secularization of secular issues. We have to agree on that. I am speaking from Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife. My department is Department of Religious Studies. So I am talking as an expert from the field of Old Testament. And people need to be aware of certain things. We are not bringing in religious sentiment. This is addressing the holy books as literary traditions, literature that anybody can read without attaching, I'm receiving a message from God or revelation to it. What is written is written and is available for everybody to read and interpret. However, you have to interpret within the rules of his interpretation. Two things. Number one, the story we have in the Old Testament, especially, there are narratives for different reasons. They are not narratives that you can use history to back up. You are going to cause trouble. And I will give you two instances. Number one, Abraham's lineage. Abraham was never an Israelite. Abraham was a Syrian, also known as Aramea. Abraham was a Syrian by his lineage. I have given you the Bible passages. Deuteronomy chapter 26 from verse 5 explain that. Genesis Bible passages in Genesis also explain that, which are quoted on your WhatsApp. Genesis chapter 25, you find that. Genesis chapter 24, you find that. Where we have stories of how Abraham's family were Syrians. But you will be surprised that in 2 Kings, 2 Kings chapter 5, Syrians who were brothers of Abraham years ago were fighting Israelites of their day. Israelites in biblical study should be regarded as religious organization, like a church denomination. They should not be seen as a tribe or an ethnic group. But today, the Israeli of today wants to interpret religious group of Bible days as an ethnic group. Is a lie. Is a ruse. The Israeli of today were gathered from America and launched where America cited its machines to solve the Arabian War, which he helped to resolve. International law requires that if you win a landed space through war, it's your own property. So America wanted to continue to control that space, and he brought the American Jews to be located there, and they are there till today. And there's no problem with that. The only issue is for you to now refer to ancient story to get a space. No, we won't take that, because even in the ancient story, we know that the so-called promised land should be divided among the children of Abraham. And the desert of Paran, sure, I have sent the picture of the maps on your WhatsApp. The desert of Shur and Paran were occupied by children of Agar, the Ishmael. The wilderness of Midian, occupied by children of Keturah. That's another wife of Abraham. The so-called Canaan, that's the one occupied in the biblical day by the children of Sarah, Isaac, Jacob. Jacob's name was changed to Israel, and that's where they got the idea of Israelites. But when you read the Old Testament, you will see that Israelites should be regarded as a religious organization, not an ethnic background, because they all came from the same Aramean or Syrian lineage. Now, in 2 Kings chapter 5, they fought. A religious organization who had a landed space fighting his own brother of ethnic similarity. And that's why the writer of 2 Kings chapter 5 made Yahweh, God, to appear as a neutral person, resolving the conflict between brothers who wanted to use religion to cause trouble. And the writer said, Yahweh gave victory to Syrian, Aramean, under the leadership of Naaman. Yahweh, the same Yahweh that Israel will be claiming, gave victory to his own brother who did not change his name, but made the brother who did not change his name to come to a brother who changed his name to Israel for solution. What does that mean? God should not be brought into our conflict. We are looking for mineral resources. In the Bible days, the mineral resources were iron and copper. Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 7 to 9 show to us that the promised land is full of iron and copper. And that is what everybody was running after in the Bible days. Today, Arabia is known to be full of oil. And everybody is trying to look at any land that is situated among rivers. And look at biblical Israel and Israeli of today. You will see that they are surrounded by rivers. Mediterranean to the left, River Jordan to the right, Sea of Gennesaret top, called Galilee today, Dead Sea in the south. How will a land be situated among seas and will not be fertile? And how will a land be situated among seas and will not have oil? We all know geology now. And so we know what people are really running after. What I'm trying to say in all is this, so that I can give other people room to call in and we can interrogate this. Please, people should no longer require spaces for discussion, either in eco-theology or historical, socio-economic and historical literary study of the Bible by laying attention to that ancient story. The ancient story will continue to divide because it's a story of division among brothers, which Yahweh has been resolving, which eventually led to the coming of Jesus to say, I am bringing two sides together, the Jewish and the Gentile. The so-called Gentile were not Gentiles. Jews themselves were Gentiles because they were Arameans by ethnic background.
All right.
But to now call the rest of us Gentiles versus Jews is a discourse analysis abnormality.
Okay.
Because we are all Gentiles, including the Israeli.
You see?
Thank you. This is Olaniyi from Obafemi Awolowo University,
Mr.
Department of Religious Studies, Old Testament Studies.
Don't go away. Don't go away. Are you with me?
Okay, I'm listening to you.
Okay. So when I return to the country, I'm going to have a deal with you.
Yes.
I hope you'll be open to an interview.
I will be open. I just gave a lecture, an international lecture 2 weeks ago on this same subject matter. Religion, religious identity and entrepreneurship in Africa today, citing Asian stories.
Can you please send me the lecture?
I will send you the slide.
Okay.
You will find it on your WhatsApp.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for the good work.
Thank you for calling, sir. Thank you. Interesting. Perspectives. Perspectives. Intellectual discourse. You know, sometimes there are certain callers that just call you, just listen. You don't interrogate. You allow them flow. I want to read that lecture. Let's read. Another work I'm recommending to you. It is a big book, but it will open you to knowledge. It is called The Complete Illustrated Guide to Islam. The Complete Illustrated Guide to Islam. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. All right. I can hear you. It's not clear. I can hear you well. That line is so poor. So the book is The Complete Illustrated Guide to Islam. If you want to understand Islam, it's a guide to understanding Islam. The book comprehensively explores the life and work of Muhammad. It explores the history of Islam, Islamic beliefs, and doctrine and religious practices and worship. The book is a great read. If you lay your hands on this book I'm talking about, The Complete Illustrated Guide to Islam, it is a beautifully illustrated book with more than 500 fine art paintings, artworks, maps, and photographs, including a helpful timeline. The book offers a comprehensive introduction to an overview of a complex and often misunderstood religion. The authors are Rana Bakri and Dr. Muhammad Seddon. I recommend The Complete Illustrated Guide to Islam to you. You'll find it on udarabooks.com. Order your copy there on udarabooks.com. You can order your copy through my WhatsApp number 080 18449. I'll take one more call before I go for a break. Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Yes, good morning.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you? Yeah, okay. Now, there's a concept that I need to clear. You were asking if the Old Testament and the New Testament, that's Jesus' time, what's the correlation between what happened in the Old and the New? But one thing is that in the Old Testament, there was no Christianity. There's no Christianity. What we had then was Judaism. You had a set of laws, commandments, and all that. So they're not the same. And then, it's like when you have a constitution. Christ came with a constitution. He was called the Prince of Peace. That was why he was never involved in any form of wars or anything. He came to settle all the matters that arose from the Old Testament. How can you see somebody you call a Prince of Peace being involved in war? He's an anathema. They don't go together. Are you with me?
I'm listening.
So if we get this underlying fact clear, then you know that the correlation is such that the whole Bible itself that you read from is, you have a repeated act. You have a lot of things that from the Genesis to Revelation, it was more or less the same occurrences. The only difference is the actors. The actors that were playing the parts, they were doing more or less the same thing. And what were they doing? God wanted his kingdom on earth, but he needed people to establish that kingdom. And that's just the whole essence of the whole Bible. It's repetition.
All right.
So everybody just came to play their parts.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. The program is State Affairs on Splash 105.5 FM, the Integrity Station. I am Edmond Obilo. Stay tuned. State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live. Stay tuned. In the course of this interview, you've talked about making your state a first-class economy. You've talked about Singapore. Why Singapore?
When you look at the uniqueness of Singapore, within the Malaysian construct and where they're coming from and what they've achieved, Singapore is a country that's not blessed with the resources that even their neighbors, Malaysia, has. They don't have the oil. And how did they make a journey from being a disadvantaged, almost expunged country from the Malaysian construct to be one of the Asian tigers? It was because there were certain truths they told themselves. First of all, in Singapore, they decided that corruption will not have a place in governance and in government. If you will not serve the common good of the people, you have no place. And corruption thrives in lack of transparency. Where there's no transparency or accountability, then a lot of things happen. But what did they do? They looked at themselves. Now, when you consider how much refining they do without a drop of oil in their own natural resources. At the time where they made the mileage, several decades later, they've created something for themselves. So I'm looking at us as, or your state, for instance, not necessarily being blessed with oil, for instance, which is a mainstay still now of the Nigerian economy, but having so many other opportunities where if we are nested and we used our best resources thinking to then find where we can have the comparative advantage, what we can start to do today, not something esoteric, what we can start doing today to make our lot better, then we can make that mileage. In the world today, food is still important. People are saying, oh, there's hunger in the land. How can there be hunger in the land? We have, this is grass here. Just dig the ground, put a seed of corn, you see it grow. So when you have something in your hands to do and you don't do it, who are you to blame? I believe the history, our future will be written by us thinking, visioning, okay, but beyond that visioning, executing it intentionally with as much doggedness as you would put in any of the businesses that you do for yourself. It's not, we cannot have the worst of us lead the most of us while the best of us are sitting somewhere we're complaining. No, I think we need to take our fate into our hands and be serious about our development, be serious about our growth.
In the case of Singapore, we cannot run away from the visionary leadership of Lee Kuan Yew. So what role does visionary leadership play in the development?
Here we go!
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live. Stay tuned. State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live. Stay tuned.
You know, there is a lot to talk about, but we can talk about this too. Should I call it a deep dive into how the struggles over fuel pricing and subsidy in Nigeria have their roots in Nigeria's complex political behavior? Yes. At the moment, some are selling beyond 1,000 naira per litre. At another time, NNPC would say this was the amount we bought per litre from Dangote Refinery. At another time, Dangote Refinery would say no. So what is it about? Dangote granted an interview to Bloomberg Television. I'll bring you part of that interview to create an understanding of what is going on at the moment. I will also bring you part of the news conference of Trade Union Congress President Festus Osifo. That press conference will also educate you on what is going on. Let's listen to Dangote.
The government wants to get rid of subsidies. Will your refinery help with that?
Well, the government, subsidy is a very sensitive issue. If, I believe the problem is not only the subsidy, it is problem that, once you are subsidizing something, then people will be blotting the numbers and government will end up paying what they are not supposed to be paying. But this our refinery will bring quite a lot of issues out there. You know, it will show the real consumption of Nigeria. Because, you know, nobody can tell you. Some people say 60 million liters of gasoline per day. Some say no, it's less. But right now, if you look at it, by us producing, okay, everything can be counted. Right. So everything can be accounted for. Most of the trucks or ships that will come and load from us, we are going to actually, you know, put a tracker on them to be sure they are going to take the oil within Nigeria. And that, I think, can help the government to save quite a lot of money.
So do you think it's the right time to get rid of the subsidies?
I think it is, you know, because all countries have actually gotten rid of subsidies. Let me give you an example. Saudi Arabia used to give what Saudis, the citizens, believe that, look, oil is our own God-given gift. So the government shouldn't charge us for it. So government was selling it at a very low price. But today, as we speak, gasoline is about 40% cheaper in Nigeria than in Saudi Arabia, which I think it doesn't make sense. That is one. Number two, our price of gasoline is about 60% of the price of our neighboring countries, and we have very porous borders. So it is not sustainable. You know, I mean, the amount of subsidies that were paid, government cannot afford those subsidies.
So do you need the government to take away the subsidies for your refinery to be viable?
Well, you see, we have a choice of either when we produce, we export, and when we produce, we sell locally. But we're a private company. And yes, it's true, we have to make a profit. We build something worth $20 billion, so definitely we have to make money. The removal of subsidy is totally dependent on the government, not on us. We cannot change, you know, price. But I think, you know, the government will have to, you know, give up something for something, you know. So I think at the end of the day, the subsidy will have to go. But what we have done now, we know with the government, which I think I must really thank the President of Nigeria, President Bola Tinubu, you know, very creative idea that, okay, fine, you know what, we will sell you the crude in Naira, you also sell in Naira. So now we are working out for the exchange rate. It's going to be priced, normal pricing, you know, if crude is at $80, you know, Brent, you know, we will pay that price. We'll use an agreed exchange rate, and then we will also sell in the domestic market. What that will do is that it's going to remove 40% pressure on the Naira. So, because you see, the petroleum products consume about 40% of our foreign exchange. So, you know, and then, you know, it's like you have 40% of demand being taken out. So that can actually stabilize the Naira. That's one. Number two, the government will now know, even if they are going to subsidize, they will know what is the real consumption. Because right now, nobody can tell you what you are consuming. It's all guesswork. You know, so that can help in terms of stabilizing the market. That can also help in terms of removing queues, because we have a lot of queues, and these queues are not there today. They've been on and off since 1972, for the last 52 years.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live. Stay tuned.
Have you settled on a price? Can you give us a bit more clarity on what's going on?
Well, okay, what is going on? There was, it wasn't really a disagreement per se. NNPC bought from us this particular one on the 15th of September at the international price, which they also bought about over 800,000 metric tons of gasoline imported. So the one that they bought from us actually is cheaper than the one they are importing. And so when they announced our price, The guy, I don't know whether he was authorized or, but it wasn't really the real price. What they have announced, yes, most likely that is what it cost them, including forfeit, including whatever, you know, which they have never added profit to their cost. And then the other one is one that they imported, but the people don't know how much they spent in terms of the import, but their own importation one is almost maybe about 15-20% more expensive than ours. You know, so what they're supposed to do is to sell at a basket price, or if they want to remove subsidy, they can announce that they will remove subsidy, which is okay. Everybody, you know, will adjust to it.
But you're not worried, Rico, that some of the oil majors, because of their vast resources, can sell for cheaper?
Well, yes, most likely, you know, because in business, it's, you know, I've said this in my interview before, where I said that I never knew that the oil industry mafia are stronger than the drug cartel. It's a big cartel. You know, I will say this anywhere. The issue that you are right, they can say, okay, fine, you know, to make sure that this refinery doesn't work, we'll keep selling cheaper. But right now, they won't be able to sell cheaper because they will not be able to take local currency. We will take local currency. We have the refining capacity, not only to satisfy Nigeria, we have refining capacity that is almost twice the consumption of Nigeria.
Here we go!
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live. Stay tuned.
Yes, that's Dangote speaking on Bloomberg television, an American television. He raised some points there. I'm leaving you to interpret those points. But there's one point I want to look at. He said Dangote Refinery has the option to take its refined product outside Nigeria. It is a business concern. That means if the government does not dance to its tune, certainly Dangote wants government to remove subsidy. You will know why. You know, as it stands now, it seems that NNPC is the sole buyer from Dangote Refinery. Independent marketers are not buying from Dangote. Why? Why are they not buying? Is it that NNPC is saying don't buy? There is a reason. And it's due to that reason that Dangote is calling for the removal of subsidy. That means if Tinubu decides to remove subsidy, the point is that Dangote has confirmed that there is subsidy. The NNPC buys from Dangote at the moment, but NNPC is selling at a lower price. And Dangote is saying, no, remove it. Let there be full deregulation. So petrol will sell at a higher price. Is somebody angry with Dangote? No, don't be angry. Yes, the point I want to point to, Dangote can take his product outside Nigeria. He can decide not to sell to Nigeria. You know that refinery is located in a free trade zone. That is where that refinery is located. In a free trade zone. What is the advantage of locating such a refinery in a free trade zone to Dangote? Let me tell you what a free trade zone is so that you will understand that Dangote can call Nigeria's bluff. A free trade zone is a designated geographic area within a country where goods can be imported, stored, handled, manufactured, or re-exported under specific customs regulation and typically without the intervention of customs authorities. These zones are designed to encourage trade and investment by reducing or eliminating barriers such as tariffs, quotas, and complex customs procedures. Free trade zones often offer additional incentives like tax breaks, streamlined business processes, and infrastructure support to attract companies and promote economic activities. Take note of this point. If your company is operating in a free trade zone, it means that goods brought into that zone may not be subject to customs duties unless they enter the domestic market of the country where the free trade zone is located. So Dangote can decide to go out and sell, and there will be no custom duties. There's also what you call simplified customs procedures. There is usually less bureaucracy and goods can be processed and transformed in the zone before being exported again without customs complications. Businesses operating in free trade zones often enjoy tax incentives, including reduced corporate taxes, reduced value-added taxes, and exemptions from import-export duties. You could see when that argument between Dangote and Nigeria was going on, you saw a powerful businessman taking on the state. That is the power of capitalism. There is a book I'm reading. It is published by Forbes Africa. Forbes Africa. It's entitled Africa's Billionaires: Inspirational Stories from the Continent's Wealthiest People. It's a book written by Chris Bishop, the founding editor of Forbes Africa. I am reading the book because I want to explore into the life of African billionaires and how we can key into their billions to lift people out of poverty. And it's an interesting book. Dangote is the first. I think Dangote is in chapter 1. That's Dangote, yes, it's in chapter 1, the richest man in Africa, Aliko Dangote. Then chapter 2 talks about the young Tsar of Dar, Mohammed Daoji. These are interesting personalities. African billionaires. Africa's billionaires, inspirational stories from the continent's wealthiest people. Who wants to be a billionaire? So what kind of books are you reading? How are you deploying your businesses? I will come to Nigeria with some business books for you because we are looking at creating more billionaires to lift people out of poverty. So that is Dangote there explaining his refinery. And I've also explained to you what a free trade zone is. And his refinery is in Lekki Free Trade Zone. There's a free trade zone in Dubai known as the Jebel Ali Free Trade Zone. I'll be visiting that free trade zone soon in Dubai. I want to go see the free trade zone. I will go in there soon. There's also the Shenzhen Special Economic Zone in China. That is one country I'm waiting to visit, China. I don't know when, but it will be soon. It's about understanding the word and lifting Africa out of poverty. Now, Festus Osifo is the president of the Trade Union Congress. He comes into this discourse to explain to us what is going on with the pricing of petroleum product.
So now, when Dangote now finished his product, when they now sorted relatively the issue of crude, it now went into PMS. It now went into the issue of pricing. So clearly, what happened was this. Today, NNPC is buying crude, is buying PMS, or was importing PMS from abroad, and importing PMS at a certain price. So Dangote said, NNPC, you give me that crude, that PMS that you are importing, pay me the same price that you are paying to Rotterdam. Pay me the same price that you are paying to Malta. But NNPC on their own now said that no, but from Malta and all that, there is a high premium that we are paying. But you are a Nigerian company. So, but as a Nigerian company, we can't pay you the same amount we are using to import. So it became a problem. That is the reality. Forget those plenty letters going on in the press, but what was actually happening was that Dangote has the right to ask for it. Don't misquote what I'm saying. He has the right because he's a business person. He wants to make profit. He wants to pay back his loans. So he was asking, pay me that same amount. But NNPC said, no, we can't pay you that amount. Let's calculate it, with local conversations. Those in the energy sector may know what you call Plat. So Plat is an international price that you use in calculating PMS price. So it's literally fixed depending on mainly the crude oil price. So every week you have the cost, the Plat cost, you have it. So that Plat cost, some people buy from refineries at Plat without a premium. But at a particular time, I'm just trying to manage what I could reveal. So at a particular time, that Plat, NNPC was importing, bringing it in with Plat plus premium. So Dangote at well now said you have to pay that premium on top of that Plat. But they now said that you want me to pay premium on top of the Plat, but the crude I'm giving to you, you don't want to pay premium. So if you want me to pay premium on the Plat, you also pay premium on the crude. Because at the end, it's the crude that we are going to do net off. So it became another challenge. But as of today, what they've agreed on as of today is that the Dangote is giving PMS at Plat plus 42. So if you look at the release done by NNPC, the last one, you see where they wrote the Plat price is the first on that table. When you come under, you now see premium of 42 naira. So that premium initially, what was being asked for was much more than 42, which Dangote has the right to ask. So it was just a contractual issues. It was, issues between them, with Dangote wanting to make profit because he has his right to make profit, but with NNPC on the other hand saying, no, we can't pay as high as that. I don't know if you understand. So that is actually what has been going on between them. But thank God they found a way to resolve it as at today.
Here we go.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live. Stay tuned.
I'm not done with Festus Osifo. The point I didn't make known to you is that Festus Osifo, though president of TUC, is primarily from Peganson. Peganson is the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria. He's the president of Peganson, so he works in that industry. So he's speaking authoritatively as a man who works in the petroleum industry. Okay? That is why I am taking him seriously. Osifo continues his analysis.
And that is why in that same table, if you look at the calculation, you have the Plat price that was converted to Naira. You also have the premium there. Then you now have those agency costs, NIMASA, NMDPRA cost and all that now brings it to where it is today. So, as of today, with all those costs imputed, PMS would be around 950 Naira per liter. That is what NNPC, both what they will pay to Dangote, what they will pay to Nimasa, what they will pay to NMDPROA and all that, MPA and all. It will amount to about 950 naira per liter. But that product, NNPC takes it at 950 naira per liter. They will now offer it to marketer around 700 naira plus. Because if they offer it at 950 naira, we'll be buying PMS today, maybe up to 1,100, 1,200 officially, even across NNPC stations and all that. So what that means is that NNPC buy it at a cost, but they will now go back and impute some level of subsidy in it. That is the reason why other marketers cannot go to Dangote Refinery today to buy. It's not because NNPC is saying they shouldn't come and buy. I want us to really get it clear. That's why I'm spending a lot of time on this. Not that they are saying don't go and buy. But the truth is that if NNPC is buying at 950, not from Dangote, buy at 950 with all the costs imputed in it, and they are now selling at 700 plus to marketers, it means that there is a shortfall that NNPC is managing. But if you ask Total Energies, for example, downstream, to go and buy from Dangote, Total Energies will buy from Dangote at almost the same price, but Total Energy will sell to marketers at maybe 1,000 naira plus. You see the difference? So if Total Energy sell to marketers at 1,000 naira plus, and NNPC is selling at 700 naira plus, which will be cheaper? The one NNPC is selling. And when that now happens, nobody is going to buy that from Total. So that is why all of them, they are staying away and allowing NNPC to buy. So it's not that NNPC wants to be so monopoly. So it's over this period, we've investigated all this. We've had interactions with all players across board, and we clearly understand what is happening. And this cannot be eliminated in a business environment, most especially in an environment where if there was 100% deregulation, for example, everybody could go and buy, like the AGO. So anybody buy AGO today and sell any amount that you please, nobody would query you. But because there is some form of under-recovery, if you may say, or subsidy, that is why that distortion is somewhat still there.
Here we go.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live. Stay tuned.
So why the introduction of subsidy? As we rightly know, last year it was said that subsidy was gone. Correct. As at June, July last year, the country was not paying any subsidy. And you pressmen, I think we should do a lot more of investigative journalism. I have granted a lot of interviews. I have been in TVC, for example, in channels and all that, and I have opined. This was, we kept saying the governors, they are getting more money from fuel subsidy. Gentlemen of the press, from September, October last year, government was paying fuel subsidy. So if you are paying fuel subsidy, how was the governors getting more money? It wasn't from subsidy. It was from devaluation. It was the proceed of devaluation and not proceed from subsidy removal. Why was it devaluation? Okay, as at May last year, right? The official exchange rate was 450 naira. So what that means is that if Total Energies made a profit of, let's say, or if they paid tax to government, and that tax they paid to government was $200 million, for example, you are going to convert that money with 450 naira, right? Right? So if you convert 450 naira, you will not see the amount that you are going to make. But as later in the year, early part of this year, late last year, the exchange rate moved. So if Total Energies today make a profit of $200 million, you are going to multiply by 1,600. So that is more naira. In the port, they will tell you that if you import a car, that you are going to, that is going to be 30% of the value of a car, right? So you import a car of $100 million, for example. 30% of it is $30,000, right? Before now, you were converting that $30,000 with 450 naira. So the money you will pay from your pocket to clear your car was $30,000 times 450. Right? But today, the money you pay in clearing your car is 30,000 times 1,600 or thereabout. So you see that you are paying times 4 of what you used to pay. And that money you are using to clear your car, we go to customs, we go to FROIS, we go, at the end, that is why you see FROIS declaring more naira. That they have made trillions of naira within a little time. That is why you are seeing customs telling us that they are making more money. It is because of the valuation and exchange rate. And where does this money go? Majority of this money goes into the federation account that they are going to share. In fact, that is why they have more naira to share.
Here we go.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live. Stay tuned.
Right, that is Festus Osifo there, President Trade Union Congress of Nigeria. His primary trade union is Pengasan. That is the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria. What do you think? The lines are open. You can talk to me. We are coasting home. Let me look at some of your messages here. Yes. Remember, we are streaming on X, on YouTube, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on State Affairs app. How are you? Let me look at some of your messages. You can also call, but this time your call should be brief. It shouldn't go more than 1 minute. Okay? Because we are rounding off. I can see Jafet Ayinla. It says our politicians use religion as a weapon. Many of them aren't spiritual, but religious. He says religion itself has no problem, but the religion custodians and adherents. John Oguche Onyisi says, good morning. I'm following your analysis on the book of Amos with keen interest. Inasmuch as your questions are timely, the answers can be given by those inspired by God. Lest God's prophecy come to fulfillment. I have Zilan Marlin here. He said, you just took it from my mouth that you should invite the last speaker to shed more light, okay? Yes. I want to have a video interview with him. So that will be when I come back to Nigeria. And I want to study his works so that we ask the right questions. Oladele Dowu Joseph says, good morning, radio man. If the book of Amos was written about 3,000 years ago, I'll be back. Just stay tuned. Yes, we are rounding off the show. And Festus Osifo there, President TUC, giving us a breakdown of petroleum pricing in Nigeria. Oladile Dowu Joseph says if the book of Amos was written about 3,000 years ago or thereabout, then I am short of words because the prediction hits the historical precision with absolute exactitude. That is Oladile Dowu Joseph. Babatunde Alexander Michael said religion is sentimental and it will always be. The views of Christians and Muslims on Israeli-Palestinian conflict will always be different. Why people are dying. Okay, Jafet Anyila, I've read your message. John Oguchi Onyisi. Sherif Adeoye, thank you for joining the broadcast. Oedeji Olorunfemi, thank you for joining the broadcast. I must thank Margaret Oker, Akonde Ibrahim, and others that are watching. Okay, I'll take this last call. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, you have 40 seconds to talk to me. I'm about signing out.
All right, sir. I sent you a text message now on the WhatsApp, so please. Yeah, my name is Olumuyiwa.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So I've recommended 2 books to you. The Clash of Civilization by Hortington. I also recommended another beautiful work, The Complete Illustrated Guide to Islam. You can check those books on udarabooks.com, or you can order them through my WhatsApp number, that is 08034918449. But the book I started reading yesterday is this one, Africa's Billionaires, Inspirational Stories from the Continent's Wealthiest People by Chris Bishop. It is the book I am reading. We don't have it on Udara Books, but we will get it. I'm reading it first and I will go for it. Because we want to produce more billionaires for Africa. I am Edmond Obilo. I worked with Bosun Alayode to bring you this edition of the program. Next week is another time. The next program is Ijoba Ibile with Abiodun Adewale. Thank you for being there. Bye for now.
In the global village of conflicting ideologies and complexities, understanding systems and schemes through awareness and social reconstruction becomes expedient.
They never told you how you offended them?
I'm not on trial, so I can't go before
Join the radio man, Edmond Obilo, on State Affairs for local and international politics, security, extensive economic analysis, interviews, and world power play.
Nigerians must choose the path they want to follow. Follow the same looters and sponsors of violence who control the political structures or encourage the formation of a new leadership team.
Be a global citizen and join the radio revolution on State Affairs. State Affairs with Edmond Obilo. Radio just got deeper.
Here we go!
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live. Stay tuned.